When we first walked into the old building at 724 Cass Street, we saw more than bricks and stained glass. We saw potential. A space where creativity, learning, and inclusion could take root. That dream became the Licky Education and Production Center, the Leap Center.
The Leap Center does build community insofar as that it combines multiple generations together in a different sort of mechanism than existed in the past.
The story of the Leap Center begins with a simple question. What does LCT need to grow?
For years, our costumes, sets, props were stored all over the city in various places, and most of them were difficult to get to, hardly could access them. It was dark and damp and not safe.
Rehearsing before the Leap Center, especially for the holiday show, often involved us being a little bit like nomads because we're so lucky to have a show that performs in the fall, but that show often needs classrooms for dressing room space. We also have to share the space with the Turbo, so we would have to switch buildings, sometimes for 2 weeks at a time.
Over at the Weber Center, it was a little difficult because sometimes we would have rehearsals needed to start in the Licky, and so my team had to be done and out of shop by 5:30 and cleaned up.
LCT needed a space that was our own for rehearsals, somewhere where we could lay tape down on the floor and know that it wouldn't bother anybody else, somewhere that felt like home, even though it wasn't necessarily in the same space.
Whenever we had events over at the Weber Center, a lot of the times I had to close down my shop. We had a lot of shorter days, whereas here at Leap, we have a little bit of a longer time and more space.
To grow, we knew we needed more space, but we weren't sure what that would look like. Would it be an old sign shop within walking distance of the Weber Center? Or an old bar with an empty lot behind it? When we finally found the building at 724 Cass Street, we saw a place that could meet multiple needs. Organized storage, a new scene shop, and a dedicated rehearsal space. We had met our space needs, but we started to see something more.
I'm really excited because we repurposed a building, and it's a critical part of a neighborhood in downtown, and I think it really shows the community theater's investment in our community, and it reflects the investment in our youth and our long-term programming.
Well, I was very excited about the renovation. We're looking at not just a church, but a change in our theater's future.
The Leap Center is incredibly important for actors and creators of all ages, including my children, and having additional space for them to rehearse and perform and build sets is just such a huge asset.
What excites me most about the Leap Center's full potential is the additional people we can now reach, especially the children. Programs like the Penguin Project, Ultra Star Academy, and Encore Academy can now have space to grow and thrive. To see the true potential expanded programming at the Leap Center can have on the youth of the future, we turn to those whose lives LCT has already touched in the past.
What La Crosse Community Theater did for my son was provide him a place to develop his talents and to develop confidence and learn hard work and to really have a place to belong as he transitioned from an adolescent to a young person.
The impact of theater on my kids has been immeasurable. It's given them empathy, it's taught them responsibility, it's given them confidence, creativity, and all those great things that lead to being good citizens and good human beings.
The Leap Center represents a true second home for the La Crosse Community Theater, a fully functional third performance space and education home for our youth. A place for the Ultra Star Academy and the Penguin Project to put down roots in order to grow the youth of La Crosse.
I'm strongly in support of the Leap Center because I saw what it did for my son, and I think it will do the same thing for other youth in our community to give them a place to develop their talents and to have a place to belong and to grow. Not just for today or tomorrow, but for generations to come.
The Leap Center is a great facility that has the potential to host all kinds of programming, particularly the Penguin Project, which is a project that brings children of all abilities together to create theater, including my own children.
We're grateful to give a building new life, but we still have work to do. First among this is accessibility options.
The Leap Center is being hosted in a building that was built a long time ago. So there's a lot of work to be done to make it accessible for people that use wheelchairs, people that have sensory needs, and the people that use adaptive supports and have physical needs such as accessible restrooms and such.
We also need lighting, sound, and performance equipment, exterior renovations and fixes, and more.
The best way to help is to spread the story. I think once people get into the church and see what we're doing here, they will be happy to give and tell their friends about it. So I think that's the biggest help. Obviously, we do need donations for the capital campaign to keep us going, but just more important is finding that right person that this kind of thing resonates with, but also just telling the story to friends and family.
So as we return to the question we asked at the beginning of the story, we look to the stained glass at 724 Cass Street as it glows with new light and the promise of what lies ahead, and we realize the answer is simple. The Lickey Education and Production Center, our LEAP Center, is a bold step forward for LCT. It's a promise that every child will have a place to learn, grow, and shine. Join us and take this leap into the future of La Crosse Community Theater.